right. This is my highest ranked victory on chess.com so far. And I got a 2250 rating on game review with a great and a brilliant on the score review. So I want to show this game real quick. It's my record sixth game in a row. Um, I have better stats on Lee Chess, but I've been trying to do it on chess.com as well. So I do a Sicilian, and then at this point, I decide to play something I don't usually play, which is this Sveshnikov, where you just immediately attack the knight that's here. And the reason I don't usually play it is because the D pawn becomes a weakness because it doesn't have any friends to support it, and it can't go to here because the queen controls that. So it ends up on D6, and then the bishop has to protect that, whereas I like to fianchetto my bishop usually. So he goes here, threatening to immediately jump in here using the queen, blocking this pawn, blocking my development. So I have to play d6 here. And this is this opening, and I just have to be careful not to lose my backward pawn. He brings out his knight. I kick his knight, and now it goes back there because it has nowhere else to go. And now I could play b5, threatening b4, forking the two knights. But I think it's a waste because he's not going to fall for that. So instead, I develop my knight here. He brings his bishop out, pinning the knight, threatening maybe to hop in here. I unpin best. Let's see, best is rook here, probably with the b5 idea. Um, but because I guess maybe there's sacrifices here. I don't know. I don't know why that rook moves there, but I do this to unpin this knight. So that I'm thinking if I play b5, b4, I want to kick this knight and at least I win a pawn. So I got to unpin my knight. He takes, I take back, and he hops in. Now this bishop's going to die. There's no way to save him. But I castle, so I castle. He doesn't take the knight. He decides to make room for his other knight, which is a really bad idea. He should probably rotate it just this way without wasting this move. I don't see any problem with this and then going here. So this is a really bad move. And I play this, and the idea of this is it's not a good move, but if he doesn't play this right, if he doesn't take right now, I'm going to tuck the bishop back and then I'm going to win because uh I'll have a bishop pair and he won't, and I'm good enough to win with that. But and here he blunders. If he takes, the queen develops, but my pawn structure is weak on the dark squares, so kind of an issue. So this is a gamble here. I'm just saying, are you gonna exchange your center knight? You better, because if you don't, now I'm safe back here, and later I can play this move. Um, and that's the end of all inaccuracy by me, pretty much, I think. So now I bring the bishop out, completing my development and pressuring this knight in the middle because I'm thinking maybe I'll just take it and I can try to win this pawn back later. Or just the threat of it, right? Maybe I can undermine this pawn and then get his knight. And the bishop, uh it's good here. It's supported, and yeah. So he finally develops here. Again, he could have just done that. So this is a waste of a move, in my opinion. But he does give his queen some lift, I guess. Um, so here I play f5. And at this point, computer said best move is for white to take. If white takes with the pawn, then I take back with the bishop, probably. Um, Actually, now that I look at it, I wouldn't want to die. So maybe I take back with the pawn. But here I realize, okay, you're trying to defend your center, but if I take and you take, your king's still in the middle, and then my rook has an open file. So I take. And now at this point, he's losing because the queen can come out here, the rook can coordinate with the queen there, and this pawn's also loose, and then this knight's going to be loose. So I do queen h5 check. Best move by the computer is this is a bishop h6. pressuring this knight before the check. Um, so that maybe when I take here, I have extra pressure. The bishop isn't doing anything on this diagonal, so bishop h6, the computer wants to activate it that way. I do that later. First I start with the check, and then he immediately blunders. Best move is blocking, okay? Reason he didn't block is because this is typically a check and I win the rook. If he did block, black is still winning with taking this pawn. These knights are loose and this rook is hanging. He does have a bishop move protected by his pinned knight, attacking my queen and defending his knight. So that's probably what he missed. So he tries to run with the king. At this point, I have a check here with the rook. Ideally, you would want to do it with the rook and then bring the other rook and all the way to here. But I decide if I check him, he can actually go here. And then he's defending this pawn, and I can't win it with the queen next move. And what's my queen doing here? Maybe it gets kicked. So I decide to take here first, reserving the threat of the rook infiltration and also trying to undermine. I feel like this is a key pawn to win. And now my queen is centralized. So here he does that. Let's see what his best defense was. Okay. So best defense is just to go back. But then yeah, the queen defends the knight. So take queen check. Queen, that's a good variation. So if he goes here and I take here, he actually takes here and it's a check. So I can't take the knight. But he goes here and he's winning a piece here because if I try to protect the bishop, he kills my rook. So in this position, I play check with the idea of vacating this square for this rook. And then maybe I can get my rook out of there before he dies. He blocks though, and then here I was kind of like, okay, what am I doing? So I play, I decide I can't save these pieces and I don't want to waste time. Now I really can't play here because he just takes it for free. And if I save the bishop, he can take the rook. He can also take the bishop. So I play bishop h6 and I just say, well, I have this massive attack on your king. So go ahead and choose which one of my pieces you want to take. But I'm coming in. This is pinned, and the queen's coming in with a check, potentially, or the bishop. So he decides not to take the rook. He takes the bishop, which is the better decision because maybe you can help defend a little bit. Plus, the bishop was going to be taking advantage of this pin. So here I take with the bishop. I could take with the queen, and he actually can't really run away because then rook takes bishop and the queen helps that. So I'm not worried about him escaping on the light squares, but taking with the bishop preserves my queen on the light squares, which forces him here. And now the bishop actually defends the rook nicely, and the queen is allowed to move wherever she wants. So here I take here because this is a forcing move. I'm attacking the rook in the corner, and you can't save it. If you go here, I take. If you stay there, I take. So your only try is rook to here or bishop to here, protected by the queen, X-ray defense. But if you play bishop here, you're just losing the bishop because the queen can't properly defend that. Your rook's still on pre, and this is a checkmate threat, and you can't use this square. So you would have to sack the queen probably. And then do I take? Yeah, and this is kind of just I did something wrong there. Black is winning even faster than that, I think. But anyway, he goes here, and then I calculate forcing moves, which is what if I take with the rook here and he has to take back with the bishop. And then I have a mate here with my bishop. So takes, checkmate. I can't use this square for my rook because his knight. And I was also concerned about moves like queen to there getting active suddenly. But it's too forcing and he's dead. So real quick, I'm gonna check out the lines. Bishop f3 is -20. Rook takes f3. Queen takes f3. Queen takes f3. Rook f1. And then what's my move? Queen e4. And then he's just kind of screwed. A5. Why would I put my bishop on 3? Bishop g1 is best, okay. Why would I do that? Oh, to prevent this. So, I mean, why not there? Okay, so he has to go this way. But what if he goes this way? And there's a check, okay. So he goes here to stop the queen check. But then I have a check here. And here. And if he goes up so that this rook protects this. I mean, this is pointless analysis right now, but it's kind of fun. Queen takes b2. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, something has clicked uh for me in chess where it's just at the point where I'm winning. I've won 6 games in a row at the 1900 level in 25 moves or less. And they're all like flashy queen checkmates. Like I keep my bishops and queen and get my knights up there and just sacrifice rooks usually. And then I mean this game's another rook sacrifice. Right here,